to make sure that people are represented fairly, equally, 14th Amendment respected. Terrific work. So I'm going to introduce Bradley at this time, and thank you all for being so patient with my little monster. Bradley Milam.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you so much for coming. Welcome to Black Knight Country Club and to Beckley. This is my home county, I wanted to say that. And I want to recognize a few people before we begin. One is Rob Dunlap for organizing this event, which I think is fantastic, as well as my aunt, Bev Waddell, who's responsible for all the food. She can't cook.
I don't know, Frankie not organized.
And I also want to recognize the rest of our host committee. Lou Ann Johnson, who's a board member of Fairness, couldn't be here today because of a family issue, but she was key in planning this event, as well as Stephen Workman. And I want to thank you for being here. This is our first event ever in Beckley. So I want to tell you a little bit about Fairness, about what we're doing, our history, what we're doing now, and what we plan to do moving forward. And to begin, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself and why I support this organization and why I work here. Like I said, I was born in Raleigh County in Raleigh General Hospital. I grew up in Fairdale, and I went to Liberty High School. I'm the son of school teachers. They were both from here. My dad went to Marsh Fork High School, and my mom went to Stokoe. When I was in high school, I was bullied because of my perceived sexual orientation. I heard homophobic remarks almost every morning in the cafeteria when I went in to school, in the hallway. When I was a freshman, my health teacher told me that homosexuality was an abomination. Because of those experiences, and this was a public school, because of those experiences, I felt alone, I felt afraid, I felt like I was the only person like me, and that I could talk to nobody. I was terrified. And so I left. I graduated valedictorian, as Rob said, and I went to Yale. And while I was there and away, I came to understand myself, and I also came to understand this movement that I needed to help, and the people who are back here in my home state who needed help, folks who were in high school still, who needed somebody to talk to, or who needed an organization that they could be referred to for help and to express themselves and to have a voice in order to strengthen greater protections for them. I came across Fairness West Virginia, and I started working here, was offered the job earlier this year, and automatically accepted it, a dream job of mine. Fairness was founded in early '09. It is the statewide civil rights advocacy organization dedicated to securing civil rights and fair treatment for lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender West Virginians, or LGBT West Virginians. We are based in Charleston. We have a very committed board of directors. Our president, Stephen Skinner, is an attorney in Charlestown in Jefferson County. Our board treasurer is here, Coy Flowers, who's a gynecologist in Lewisburg. We have folks from across the state who are dedicated to working and fighting for LGBT equality here in West Virginia. We were able to hire a contract lobbyist a couple of years ago, and it was the first time in the history of West Virginia that we had someone advocating on behalf of LGBT equality in Charleston. I was hired in April and was the first full-time staffer in the history of West Virginia to ever work full-time to advocate on behalf of LGBT equality in West Virginia. This organization is growing a lot, and we are working on many issues, and I'm going to talk about a few of them now. One is a constitutional amendment banning marriage equality. We don't have one, and we are very happy about that. We and North Carolina are the only two states in the South, quote-unquote South, without a constitutional amendment banning marriage equality, and we're happy about that. We're fending that off. But North Carolina is about to face a referendum because of a constitutional amendment, because there is going to be a ballot measure. So we may well become the only state. And we're happy that we don't have an amendment, but we're also foreseeing a potential vulnerability in the future. And we're working hard to strengthen this organization so that we can be prepared for that. Another issue is with ENDA, an Employment and Housing Non-Discrimination Act. Many folks don't know, but it is legal in the state of West Virginia to fire somebody or to deny them housing because they're gay, because they're lesbian, because they're trans. It is legal. We think that's wrong. And so we work on behalf of LGBT West Virginians in Charleston in order to establish protections, to add sexual orientation and gender identity to the State Human Rights Act so that we can be protected from being evicted from our apartments or being denied employment because of who we are. One of our biggest supporters is here today, actually, who's a delegate in this district, Virginia Man, who's in the back. Delegate Mann has been a real champion in the House on our rights, and I'm sure that if you want, you can talk to her later and she can speak to sort of the situation at this point in the legislature. Another item of legislature that we have is with bullying legislation. We want stronger protections for LGBT West Virginians. We want an enumerated anti-bullying law that expressly protects LGBT students from being bullied, that includes sexual orientation and gender identity among a wide range of other classes. Studies have shown, every study that I've seen has shown that enumerated policies are more effective in curbing instances of bullying for all students across the board, whether they're LGBT or not. We are also working on quite a few other things behind the scenes. So I get calls almost every day from folks in Wyoming County or the Eastern Panhandle or Kanawha County or the Northern Panhandle who have been discriminated against, who have been denied access to their apartment, whose child is being bullied because they're not even gay but perceived to be. Today I got a call from a mother in Wyoming County whose 14-year-old has been bullied to no end and was physically assaulted. She's calling for help and she doesn't know where to get it. So our organization is helping her, and we're looking at the resources we have and the possibility of advocating for her in the legislative realm and maybe otherwise. So we're working really hard. We are meeting every day with legislators, with other lobbyists, with unions, with educators, with many different folks in Charleston and in other places in order to strengthen our voice and also in order to establish basic protections for LGBT West Virginians. This is the fifth of our receptions in West Virginia. Our first was in Charleston. We've been in Jefferson County, Morgantown, and last week we were in Buchanan. We're going to Huntington, Lewisburg, Bluefield, Wheeling, many other places. We are not, from my experience, we are not few, and we are not just the people in this room, though I'm so glad that we have this solid number here in Beckley, but we are many, and we are growing because of this organization, because of the work that we're doing, and because people are okay now, or more okay, with being themselves and with coming out and with being connected to this movement and to our organization, to Fairness West Virginia. And we're not going to stop until we achieve what we want to achieve, which is fair treatment and civil rights for LGBT West Virginians. So moving forward, I want to tell you a bit about WV Bully Free. It's our anti-bullying campaign. We launched it over the summer with the ACLU of West Virginia. We are documenting the stories of bullied teens and 20-somethings who went to high school in West Virginia. I have a video there. I've met so many other students and parents of students who have gone to bat for their kids or who have moved them to other school districts or to other states simply because they felt like they didn't have a voice here. We're documenting that in order to put a face to our movement because we realize that one of the most powerful things to do is to show people that we are real and that we are human and that we live in everyone's neighborhoods, that we are from the coal fields in Raleigh County, or that we are from Kanawha County or the Eastern Panhandle. Everywhere in West Virginia, there are thousands of us, and an estimated 40,000 LGBT West Virginians, and that is a pretty big number. So with that campaign, and also with our End It campaign, we are fighting hard for LGBT West Virginians. And so I want to thank you for your support, and I want to also tell you a bit about how you can help this organization that I believe in, and that I hope you do too. And one way is through volunteering. We have a team of volunteers at this point, but we're always looking for more. I would love to have volunteers here in Raleigh County or in the Southern Coalfields. We also have interns. I don't know if we have any students here, but we have an intern right now who's working really hard on an upcoming